Welcome back.
Would you bid and buy
Today's
1,000?
episode
How
is
about 9?
how to make millions in real estate. So that's a pretty big step. So why don't we start out as small and let's see if we can grow kind of step by step. So how about if I guide you and I show you how to make 25,000, 50,000 on one deal, and then you follow the system that we learn and you just do that multiple times, kind of what they say today, rinse and repeat. We'll do that a bunch of times. But I like to teach people when we talk about tax liens and about tax defaulted property, let's try to make $25,000 and $50,000 each time we do it. Let's not go out there and shoot to make $5,000 or $10,000. That's not enough. Let's make this so we can do it 3 or 4 times a year and make $100,000. So rinse and repeat sort of works. So let's try that. Remember, our lesson is how to make millions in real estate. I don't think I want to show you how to do that in one deal, but I'll show you how to do it on a lot of deals. So this is pretty amazing because this business generates money every time that you do a deal. Now, most people want to gain status and they want to gain wealth, and I understand that. So if you're one of those people that's motivated, you want to create a large portfolio, you can do that in this business, but it's going to take steady working at it on a regular basis. Now, some of the deals are really big. I usually teach people try to make 25 and 50,000 on a deal. Somewhere in that range, you're going to be okay. And then, like we said, rinse and repeat. All right, can you think outside the box? Well, if you can do that, you're going to do fine in this business. Okay, now I'm a problem solver. I want to teach you to be a problem solver because if you can solve problems, you can be in business for the rest of your life. All right, you don't need a license from the governor to do this business. You just need to solve problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve a problem for the county. They need money. We're going to solve a problem for you because you need money, and we're going to do that and take care of people along the way. So I'm Ted Thomas. I've specialized in this tax defaulted business for over 30 years. Now, the business is over 200 years old. I didn't invent it, but I sure found out how to do it and how to teach other people how to do it. All right, now, the people want to make money in tax defaulted real estate. First, they got to learn the ABC. So we're a little bit about that, and then I'll progress to the point where we show you that you can make money. Now, I'm not going to be like late night television or a lot of internet marketers telling you you're going to get rich quick. It's not that. This is something you have to work at, but once you understand it, you can do it for the rest of your life. It's been around for 200 years. I discovered this about 30 years ago, and believe me, I've never looked back. So I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm also an investor and I'm an author, but I'm going to teach you a step-by-step process. So I'm going to talk from an investor's standpoint, everything that I teach you. So kind of get that. All right, so my intention is to teach you a lot of small deals, and then we'll see if we can grow that. If you'll follow along with what I'm talking about, you'll find that this information that I give you is transformational. It'll change everything you're doing. So we're working in a 200-year-old market space. It's been around for decades. I've only been at it for about 30 years, but I've never looked back, and the reason I never look back is because there's a lot of tax defaulted property. This is available in over 3,000 counties across the United States. All right, now I'll be right back and tell you more about that. Real estate can be purchased online and offline when it comes to tax lien property. Now, it's pretty amazing what's going to happen, but you're going to see student investors, if you follow along with me, I have students that are in places like Costa Rica and they're buying online. For example, I have one client that lives in Regina, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is one of the provinces, a big province in Canada, and they buy in Palm Springs. Now, I'll go through some of that with you. But you could buy right in Los Angeles, no matter where you are today, because we can teach this online. Now, these tax defaulted properties, they're going to start at 10 cents, 20 cents on the dollar. The starting bid at the tax auction is generally about the back taxes. All right, so let me start telling you about someone that's from out of the country so that you understand that you can learn this and do the whole thing online. So I have a client that lives in Regina and actually taught him how to do it, how to buy online, and he bought in Palm Springs, California. Now, he didn't just buy a small property. He bought a genuinely big property. A property that had a value of over $600,000 according to the tax assessor. So he bought online, and he bought for less than 30 cents on the dollar. So think about that. So just think about the upside in that. All right, so we're talking about a business that has margin. All right, so we're trying to buy down here 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, and then we want to sell it as close as we can to market. So he bought the property and he bought it at 30 cents or 30% of its actual value. All right, so you're getting the idea. So my experience is tax defaulted property, and I want to buy at these bargain prices. So where do I do that? I can do that at any one of the over 3,000 counties across the United States. Now think about what I'm talking about. Ask yourself, if you could buy a slightly used property for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, and you could buy that without a mortgage, and you could buy it without a deed of trust, then you could sell it on Craigslist, or you could use eBay, or you could use Trulia or the multiple listing service, or put signs on the front of it. If you could do that and sell that property to a fixer-upper guy or gal, would that work for you? Well, I'm going to tell you, it sure works for me. So if I'm trying to buy, I want margin. I want to buy 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and then sell what I can. So I'm going to buy it low, and I'm also going to sell it low. Now, other people don't use that strategy. What they want to do is they want to buy it low and they want to sell it high. But I want to take all the sales out of it. See, it's very easy to sell. You don't have to use pushy sales techniques if you buy it low and you sell it low, because everybody's going to be attracted to you. You're getting the idea. All right, this works because the county needs money and you need money. So this is a good way to take care of your family. Buy it low from the county, sell it low. You don't have to get involved in a lot of sales techniques, because the fixer-upper people and the property flippers are all looking for properties to buy. All right, so how did all this start? Well, the states figured out a long time ago that people don't always pay their tax. So that states at the legislature level, they mandated that all properties must pay taxes. So if you're a property owner, you must pay property tax. All right, if you don't pay property tax, there's going to be a consequence. Now, what's the consequence going to be? The consequence is going to be that the state, the legislature, is going to tell the board of supervisors and the county commissioners, they're going to tell them, levy the tax. So the tax collector and the treasurer will go out and levy the tax. If they can't collect the tax, well, what are they going to do? They're actually going to seize the property. They're going to confiscate the property. All right, now, when they confiscate the property, they don't want the property, so they put it up for auction, and that's called a tax defaulted auction. Now, those auctions are going to start at the back taxes, because the county doesn't want the property. They just want to get rid of it. So they're going to incentivize everybody to come in and pay those back taxes. So now they get the revenue they want. So now you buy it low. Now you can do anything you want. Now, so I have clients all over the United States. I have clients in Michigan that have bought as many as 30 properties in just a few years' time, and they're buying at the back taxes, 20 or 30 cents on the dollars where they buy, and then they resell those properties for 60 and 70 cents on the market. And what do? They use installment sales and land contracts. And why do they do that? Because now they can get extra revenue from that sale. So many of my students are buying used and abused properties. All right, who are they selling them to? They're selling to property flippers, people that can do handyman work, another handyman or handywoman nowadays. All right, you can do that. That's who's going to buy the properties from you. So you're going to price the property properly. How do you price it that way? If you buy it low, you just want to make margin. So if you bought it for 20 cents on the dollar, could you sell it for 60 cents and be happy? Well, everybody that's out there in the marketplace would like to buy it from you for 60 cents on the dollar. So you don't have to be a difficult salesperson on that. So let me give you an example. So I'm going to use Sonny and Marcia. All right, what do they do? Now, they're a couple. They're a senior couple. They bought a property for only $8,000. All right, $8,000 they bought the property, spent another $4,000 fixing it up. And what do? They just put ugly signs out in the front of it. They put it on Craigslist. They put it on Facebook Marketplace. You got the idea. Property was assessed for $55,000. All right, so what did they do? They bought it low and they sold it low. So they sold it for $35,000. Well, they bought it for $12,000 because they had 8 they bought it for, spent another $4,000. So what have they done? They not only got all their money back, but they doubled their money. But what did they do? They decided to use an installment contract. So the people that bought the property paid them monthly. And they paid them monthly for 10 years. All right, well, at $400 a month, that's a lot of money. So they ended up getting about $48,000 for that property that they spent $12,000 for. Now, folks, you can do the math as well as I can do the math. If you can sell a property for $48,000 that you bought for $12,000, you got a ton of margin in there. So they made money on the property, they made money on the installment sale. So what's this video all about? This video is all about how to make millions in real estate. I'm just showing you piece by piece how to do that, one piece at a time. You see those little white circles? That's how many auctions are taking place within that state in the next 90 days. This calendar updates every single day. I'm here today to show you how to make money. To do that, I'm going to show you briefly that there are thousands of tax defaulted real estate properties across the 3,000 plus counties in the United States. This is quite interesting. You're looking at the Ted Thomas Magic Interactive Map and Auction Calendar. It changes every day. Now, I created the calendar and the map so I would know how many auctions are taking place every day in the United States. Now I can show the little guy how to make money. Most importantly, I created this system so I could have an auction list for each auction 24/7. All right, now you've seen it. So that means there's going to be lots of auctions. There's going to be over 3,000 tax defaulted auctions this year.
How better go there, how better go there, how better go where, how better go here, better go here, how better now, better go.
All right, now the legislature in every state tells the county commissioners and tells the board of supervisors, if people don't pay their tax, go ahead and push them off the property. And then once they're off the property, then go ahead and resell that property at a tax defaulted auction. Anybody can buy it. So millions of property owners nationwide default on those properties. All right, the local county needs revenue. Why do they need revenue? Because property tax pays for the schools, pays for the firefighters, pays for the police department, pays for the libraries, pays for the hospital, pays for the sheriff. So the local county needs money, and I'm sure you need some too. So why don't we buy these properties from the county, then resell them, buy them low, resell them low, all right, so we don't have to go through a tough sales process, and now we're going to make money doing it. Now, we're going to have to do it multiple times? Yes, you're going to have to do that. So ask yourself, if you could buy a slightly used property, okay, for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and sell it for 60 cents on the dollar, how many of those would you want to do this year? Well, you certainly want to do more than one of them. So what have we been talking about today? This episode's been all about how to make millions in real estate. Well, if you just did one every other month, you could see you could be making millions in real estate. This is a business that's been around for 200 years. You can do it as long as you want it. How do you sell the property? You sell it on the multiple listing. You can sell it on eBay. You can sell it on Craigslist. You can sell it with signs. You're getting the idea. Anybody can do this business that wants to do it. All right. Now, I'm not going to be able to tell you how every deal is going to go down, but I am going to tell you that there's over 3,000 tax defaulted auctions that are going to take place this year. I can assure you this is an exciting business. It's not going away. It's been around for over 200 years. I didn't invent it. Now, a couple of things you need to be cautious of. Number one is this. If you're going to buy property, you need to look at the property. That means you have to have boots on the ground. You need to see it. I don't know if there was a hurricane yesterday or there was a fire or whether it's next to a chicken farm or a pig farm and you couldn't sell it. You want to look at the property. That's number one. Number two, when you're looking at the property, figure out the neighborhood and figure out what you're going to be able to sell it for. So those are the two big mistakes. I'm Ted Thomas. I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget, request your free auction list right below me.